The older I get, the more confused I am about the world we're living in. We have more technology, more comfort, more knowledge than any generation before us. And somehow we're still not okay. We're anxious, isolated, burnt out, disconnected. We scroll and see photos of friends from school getting married and children getting bombed, and hopeful poetry and travel content. No wonder why we don't know where to look. After losing my dad to serious mental health struggles, I didn't know how anyone keeps living after something like that. But I did. And something strange started happening. As I travelled, met people, made music, sat in different communities around the world, I started noticing the same pattern everywhere. Because every time I was doing the best mentally, every time I felt grounded, connected, okay, those moments all seemed to have the same thing in common. And it's probably not what you'd expect. Oh my God, you make travel content? So, are you here to tell me how to travel?
1, 2, 3. We are sexy!
Well, not really. So what actually is this? And do I have to fit inside one box to be valid? The algorithm has to categorize me into something in order to push me to people that might like my content. What sort of creator am I? I make music, but I'm not just a musician. I travel, but I'm not here to teach you how to do that. I talk about grief, but I don't want to live inside that box either. You're not going to make it to the top before dark. And I was like, I can do it. And then, look. I philosophize about the world, but it's not really a philosophy channel. I love nights out and house music and DJing, but that's not just what it's about. I think my work actually sits in the in-between. Oh my God, I just want to stare at this forever. I'm not here to escape reality. I'm here to understand it. I travel, but I'm not here to teach you how. I'm just being myself, openly, loudly, imperfectly, and letting the journey teach the rest.
Beautiful, yeah.
What interests me most is how people move through the world.
What's the weather like up there, buddy?
How we learn. How we relate to each other. What happens when we put ourselves in environments that challenge the version of ourselves we've been rehearsing. Over time, I've realised I've inspired people without even really meaning to. Not because I had answers, but because I was willing to be seen figuring things out in real time. And the thing that keeps blowing my mind is who that resonates with. People from completely different worlds, different countries, different belief systems, different politics, different ages, different ideas of what a good life even looks like. And eventually I realised, if the same message lands with people whose lives look nothing alike, then the message probably isn't really about me at all. A huge part of that comes from how I've lived my life. I've always been surrounded by contrast, and I don't think we talk enough about how important that is. People are taught balance, like if you just live balanced, you'll magically become balanced. But I don't think that's true at all. I think if you don't see both sides of life, like really see them, you're actually more likely to swing hard in one direction or the other. And we call that growth, even when it's just another pendulum swing. I've made a really conscious effort to sit with people who challenge me, not just people I agree with, not people who mirror my values back to me, people who actually make me pause, people who trigger me, people who clash with me, people who make me literally say, what the fuck? And through that, I've ended up with the most unexpected friendships.
Okay, ready?
And every single time, I learn one thing. Life isn't binary. It's nuance. And that's actually where music in motion came from. even though I didn't realise it at the time. At first, it looked like a travel series. And then it looked like a music project. But underneath it all, there was always the same question that kept coming up for me. What happens to people and community in places where creative spaces are everywhere? And what happens when they disappear? I grew up with music and art interwoven into my everyday life. It wasn't something you scheduled or optimized. It was just there. And whenever things got heavy or confusing in my life, music was what I came back to. Later, when I studied journalism and law, I learned how systems work on paper. But travel really taught me how these systems feel. And I started noticing the same pattern everywhere. In places where people live close to each other, where there are shared spaces, kitchens, courtyards, parks and streets, creativity just exists. Not because people are trying to make it, but because people are together.
Yes.
And in places where life is spread out, expensive, competitive, and individualized, creativity doesn't disappear, but the structures that protect it do. And we're seeing that everywhere right now. Music venues closing, artists burning out, people feeling isolated, young people exhausted. And I don't think these are separate issues. I think they're symptoms of the same thing. When creative spaces disappear, the impact isn't just cultural, it's psychological. Mental health is a huge through line in this series for me. I lost my dad in 2022 because of his mental health struggles. And after that, I went through a really dark period myself. And what surprised me was that the times I felt the most grounded weren't when I'd fixed or optimized my life.
Because I've just been doing yoga, I had a massage and Reiki, and I'm gonna play open mic night later on. So I will take you with me. Love you.
They were when I was in community. They were when I was expressing myself creatively, when I felt like I belonged somewhere, even temporarily. We talk so much about mental health in terms of services you pay for, systems you navigate, appointments you book, and those things matter. But I'm really interested in the preventative side of it. I'm interested in the everyday things that keep people well. Music, shared space, creative expression, being seen, belonging. And that curiosity sharpened as I traveled. And I find it funny because the US is idolized so much for their cultural power, but it wasn't until I visited there that I realized how much isolation there is. People are working constantly, cities are spread out, creativity is pushed into competition. And then you move through South America and you see something different. It's everywhere, not because it's profitable, but because people are together. Montanita in Ecuador was a huge turning point for me. It's tiny, 8 blocks. You do the daily rounds, walking past every shop and greeting people by name. You go walk to the beach alone and suddenly you're sitting with 5 friends laughing together. Nobody ever messaged to see what the plan was. And it's not perfect, it's not pure, it's not a place to flock to and romanticize so it becomes the next thing. But it answered a lot of questions that I've been carrying. Music happens when people walk everywhere. They knock on each other's doors, they share space.
Asia.
And seeing that forced me to reflect on places like Australia and the United States.
I'll crawl back to my old self again.
Where creativity often feels squeezed, individualized, and competitive. I've been building work around these ideas for a while now. Learning how to produce my music, documenting my life.
No.
What are we doing today, Oscar?
Good morning.
Can you put your seatbelt on?
Oh, sorry.
So basically everywhere's booked out.
Writing about grief and learning to enjoy being alone, not just survive it. And somewhere in between, I realised there were huge parts of the process that didn't have a home.
You're back in your backyard so I can put my hammock up.
The voice notes, the half-written lyrics, the monologues in the car.
Okay, there's really few exciting things happening in my life, like the life of Caprice.
The doubts and hard decisions,
This just keeps happening.
the things that don't belong on Instagram.
Oh my god, there's nothingness, there's emptiness, there's like this weird void and I don't know how to fill it.
That's what success is like, it's just momentum building on momentum, building on momentum.
So, this space is where those live. Partly for me, to document this process as it's happening, but also for anyone who resonates with this kind of journey. Creatives who feel alone in the process, women navigating dating and independence, people healing from grief, people who want to see the raw artistic process, and my YouTube viewers who want deeper access. And anyone who just simply wants to support the work and help make it sustainable. Because the kind of work I'm trying to build doesn't grow through algorithms alone. It grows through people stepping on board, sharing it, sitting with it, choosing nuance over noise. Right now, I'm back in Australia and I'm in a little bit of a recalibration phase, learning how to produce my own music. I'm building 2 EPs and I'm editing 2 episodes a week for my Music in Motion series that I filmed throughout my travels in South America. It's a strange, beautiful time, reflecting on where I've been, figuring out where to go next.
Like, what the fuck? I made that.
Because the series was never really about the places that I went. It's about the environments that shape us, the communities, the creative spaces, the conversations that change how we see the world. And right now, the question that's starting to surface is, where's next? If you think there's a place in the world where these stories should be explored, a town, a music scene, a community, a cultural moment, I'd love to hear about it. And if you think I should come and document something where you live, please reach out. Especially if anyone has a particular residency in mind or somewhere that I can stay in exchange for sharing my music. This whole project has grown through people opening doors, sharing ideas, and inviting conversation. And I'd love to keep building it that way. So, thanks for being here.
Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. To pick up the phone.